Hey YouTube, today we're down in Chinatown because in this episode we're checking out the Spring Lantern Festival set. Hey guys, and welcome to Brick Talk TV. Terry here, and in today's episode we're checking out this LEGO Chinese New Year set, the Spring Lantern Festival set. That comes under set number 80107. This set was released in January 2021 and consists of 1,793 parts. These are spread over 11 sets of bags in the box, and it currently retails for £89.99 in the UK. This set has been in and out of stock all year since it's been released, as it's very popular. And so it's been quite difficult to get hold of, and luckily, even though I missed the first release date in January, I did manage to pick this up when it was restocked later in February. The set also contains 7 minifigures, and we'll be going through those shortly one by one so you can see them in detail. I did do a live build of this set over 2 streams, so if you want to take a closer look of how this set comes together, I'll put a card here and in the description below to both those streams so you can check out how the build experience goes. So for now, let's flip over and take a closer look at the finished set itself. So here's the actual set itself then, and in the build experience you start building the main portion of the set, which is really depicted around this 32 by 32 base plate. And then you finish off the set with building this 16 by 32 base plate, which is both connected by Technic pins. And you can see here, if I separate these, this is how the set naturally separates, and you can connect it together quite easily. So let's take a quick look at the actual minifigures then. I've actually placed them already throughout this picturescape, but I'll show you a close-up of them. You have what I think is a father here that comes together with a picture camera, ready to take pictures of his family. He's got a nice print of his face on there with some glasses. He does have a second face on the back, which is just a smiley face without any glasses on at all. And he comes complete with a nicely, sort of almost a Christmassy looking jumper, or wintry looking jumper, which is printed on the arms and on the back. And then he has some plain dark tan legs to go with that. And I've positioned him here into the set, looking over the pond area at his family that are on the bridge. Next up on the bridge, I've placed this lady here, who I consider to be the mum of the family here. She's holding a mobile phone, or a touch screen phone of some description, on an orange printed tile. She has a nice sort of orange jacket on with a blouse and a necklace underneath, which is printed on the front. And she does have an idea of a crease kind of in her jacket printed on the back. Her legs are just plain white. She's got a nice smiley face I'm showing here, and there isn't any other face on the back, so it's completely covered with the hair, and there's no chance to change her appearance there. So at the moment I've got her positioned directly on the bridge. Then you've got the child of the parents I consider here, so it's a little girl. She does come complete with a rabbit, which is a toy. So I'll do the rabbit first. There's a nice printed little rabbit piece here with some red eyes, a red nose, and some motif on the back, which is printed on both sides. And that sits on top of a roller skate piece to give it a notion of it's a pull-along toy. The little girl has a printed torso with looks like a sort of a My Little Pony or unicorn kind of picture on her jumper. Slight little prints on the back and different coloured arms that go in either side for a jumper. She has a nice smiley face printed on that side, but also a face of shock on the back, which I've got covered with her hair, which is in 2 bunches at the moment. And she's on the shorter legs in a teal colour. So I've got her positioned at the bottom of the bridge, playing with her rabbit. Over in the entrance side here, I've got this cool looking guy, looks like a teenager or a younger guy, who's got a drink of some description. He's got a 2021 Year of the Bull hoodie going on here, and it's printed 2021 on the front with a sort of a bull emblem, and then on the back you can also see that his hoodie's hanging down with some horns printed on the back as well, which is a nice touch. He's got plain arms, just in the same colour as the hoodie, and then he's got blue legs, which kind of like jeans or something. Has a smiley face on the front, but nothing printed on the back, and he's got sort of longish kind of black hair. And I've kind of positioned him at the front entrance of the park near the bull itself. Then positioned over here by the pond, I've got this guy who's digging into balls of rice, I think it is, in a bowl. He's kind of wearing, looks like a jacket with a strap going around, because on the back he's got a bag that's printed on the torso as well. So he's carrying a bag. So it's unusual not to get the separate bag piece that you might expect. They've actually just printed it on his torso this time. He's got a facial expression of his mouth is full at the moment, because he's digging into his rice balls with his spoon. On the reverse of his face, he's got a nice smiley face, which you can show as well if you like. But at the moment I've got him stuffing his face full of rice. The rice itself is just a tile, and it doesn't really sit very well in the bowl. Sometimes it can fall out. So do be careful of that. And at the moment I've got him eating his rice, looking over at the pond. Then over here, I've got this guy. He looks like a tour guide to me, or maybe he's celebrating the year of the bull with a bull lantern that he's carrying here on his staff. He's got shorter legs, so he's a younger person. He's got a nice scarf around his neck, and he's also wearing a Chinese-inspired kind of jacket going on with a t-shirt that's showing through underneath. He's got a smiley face print and a sad face print, which you can decide. I've got him smiling at the moment, and he's sort of leading a procession through this area here. And then lastly, on the minifigure front, we've got this lady here who's actually got a selfie stick. So we've got another touch phone printed on a black tile this time, but she's got a selfie stick and she's taking a photo of herself or a video call of herself. And she actually has the same torso as the guy over here. So she's got this bull hoodie on with the horns printed on the back as well on the hood. But she's got slightly lighter blue coloured legs. She does have a smiley face on one side, and she has nothing printed on the back as well. And she has this long kind of hair. And at the moment I've got her sat here in front of this sort of temple shrine kind of looking place doing a video. So those are the minifigures that you get inside, and you start adding those as you'd expect as you go through certain bags and stages of the build. And then I kind of added them afterwards in retrospect in certain areas. So let's have a closer look now and have a look really at the model itself. So this model has really been constructed almost like a modular in some respects, and I've seen quite a lot of people that have included this in their Lego cities and adapted it slightly to be a bit more fitting. But you kind of got this notion of a sidewalk that goes and surrounds the front and the side here. It's not as deep as you'd normally expect on a modular build, probably by about a tile's width. I think we've only got the curb, and then we go three studs deep. Normally it's a bit more deeper than that on normal modulars, but there's a nice level of detail. They've added the drain covers that you normally expect on modulars as well, and also we've got these black lamp posts, and the lamp posts are quite a nice level of detail because you've got this extra bicycle handlebar really that they've used at the top here just to hang some extra lanterns from, to give it that kind of feel that you're in Chinatown almost, or maybe in China itself. And I think maybe I might steal some of these techniques to build up a Chinatown area in Bricktown in the future, so that you know you're in a different zone of the city once the lamp posts have changed into this black colour and you have these lamps hanging from it. There's this nice little bench here, which is quite a simple build, just a tile and a panel at the back to give you the back. People probably would slip off this because there's no studs to actually attach them to, but it's a nice little touch that they've added on the front here to give you some interest on the front. And then over on this right side here, which is one of the last things you build, you've actually got this statue in red celebrating the year of the bull on a plinth that just goes on the edge. You'll also notice some level of cobblestones kind of tiles, the gold bullion kind of tiles used here to create this sort of entrance way on both sides here. Gives it a different texture, and it looks to me like cobblestones, and that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. But it's really a nice, interesting technique to use. And maybe it's one that I'll use in the future if I ever wanted a cobbled sort of area. Surrounding the whole park, you've got this nice white wall, which has different techniques into it. Over here, you build the actual wall detail with some scroll pieces that are just built with some tiles stuck on top. But it does look quite effective to give you that kind of look. And these nice lanterns are hanging from some poles using some decorator roller pieces at the top to give you this kind of bend and hang these pieces like that. And these are kind of rubbery banner pieces here, so they're not stickers, but they're included in the set, and you just need to stick those on to hang freely like this. Then as you go round to each entranceway, so there's an entrance here and an entrance here, so if you were separating these, you'd still be able to enter either area. And it's a nice round entrance. It's nicely done in terms of the curved pieces they've used here, just to change it up from a basic square entrance. And the roof techniques are the same on both sides. You've got this dragon and a bit of a horn piece going on top to add a level of detail to make it look Chinese or Asian in authentic. And then the walls are topped off with these nice bumpy tile pieces either side of the gate as well, to continue this sort of tiled notion as well. As you'll notice as well, the park is actually slightly higher than the rest, and that's really just to allow you to add the detail of the pond into the middle of this. And if you look at the pond, it's the same technique as you might find in the Ninjago city or the recent garden city. It's using those transparent tiles layered on top of different coloured plates to give you different techniques and depths of water inside here. You've got some lily pads that are also added using some foliage pieces. And there's a nice little addition of some real lily pads with some flowers on, which are using the egg pieces which you might have seen in the Jurassic Park T-Rex Rampage set, or some other types of sets like that, with some nice glowing lights. So they're like almost like candles that are floating on the water. And this is unique, actually, I think, to this set. I've not seen it in any others, where there's actually some printed transparent tiles with some almost like goldfish or koi carp fish printed on them. And you place them throughout over this side, and you can see that these fish are moving around in the pond, which really adds a great level of detail, I think, and just brings that sort of part of the build to life. And so then once you've built the lake as the foundation, then you sort of layer up the grass and the earth around these sets to then start building the pathways that go on top. So some of the main sort of features are, you've got a slight sort of cherry blossom tree over in this corner, which overhangs the wall itself. As you move through, you've got bits of foliage and grass positioned around in various aspects of the pond. Some nice pathways where they're continuing that cobbled effect, which leads to this nice bridge here. And this bridge build is quite a nice little build. You could actually pull it out. It's on turntables, but it's at an angle. And you construct this separately and then connect it in. But there's some nice levels of some balls put on here to give you some detail. And it's a nice construction to get that effect. You do put some lanterns as well throughout here, and you can see them hanging at the back here through some poles, and you can also see some other ones, slightly smaller, put throughout to light up the pathway as you go through the park. Over in the corner, of course, the most prominent part here is the bull itself, and this is a separate build. It does contain a light brick, so if I press the button here, you can see that the bull does light up. And if I take it off its plinth at the moment, you can see that this is what the bull looks like. It's a really nice construction put together, and it's really quite a nice effect. We've got some printed tiles here. There are no stickers in this set either, so everything you see is printed. I didn't have to stick anything on, which was great. You can move the head, so the head is on a socket and ball joint, and you can position the head how you like. And then if you look around the back, interestingly, the button to press to light up the ball here is actually positioned strategically near what looks like the bum of the ball. So I'm not sure if that was a design intention or whether that was just by accident, but it does look quite amusing. And so if you press the light in the back, you can see the whole ball lights up and his chest lights up as well. And then you build the plinth up around that as a main feature, obviously, of this park, because it's the celebration of the new year. So then once you've also constructed at the back, you have these areas here, which are some are on ball joints as well, so you can reposition them. And some of them are stuck into the ground, and you kind of got these bamboo looking plants at the back. Again, a nice construction using some green candle pieces and also some cone pieces and various foliage pieces to sort of build this kind of foliage up and to make it quite bushy. I really love this technique, and I think it really stands out as something unusual that I've not seen before. So I'll probably try and replicate this in other areas. If I do a sort of a Chinatown, maybe I'll add some features into the sidewalks with some of these kind of style of plants going on. And then over this part, which is the last section that you build, this is where you're building this kind of structure here where people can go and celebrate New Year. I think it's like a pagoda. I think they call it a pagoda or a shrine or something like that. And there's a little table in the middle there, and you build up all of these different rock pieces to raise the height of it before you build the final construction on top, which are using some nice sort of pieces that have been used for like guns in other builds, I think, to build these pillars up here. Nice level of detail with some azure colours around the edge. And then you use some banana pieces here with some candle pieces just to give this effect of these spikes sticking out at the top. And as the roof is a nice construction as well, and it gives it kind of that authentic look. And then you build the pathway down to the main street here. So there's some great level of detail in here, some really great techniques packed into a set that's under 2,000 bricks in size. And it's really worth the struggle to try and get this if you can get hold of it. And I think if you've got a Lego city, then this is really crying out to be placed in a Lego city, just to add some new interest and some new architecture styles into any existing city. It will look great next to any modulars that you've already got or any other sort of buildings that you're thinking of adding. And I'm going to actually add this into a new table that will go alongside the police modular station and the Lego mock of the Lego store mock, which I'll stick I'll put a link up here to the Lego Store Mock video so you can check that one out, and I'll put a link in the description to the police station modular review as well. And then the video will be coming out where we put all those together and reposition the road to make a new section of the city. So overall, this is a great set. The level of detail packed into it and the added touches, such as the fish tiles, really make the set stand out for me and really made the build really enjoyable. And it really will integrate easily into any Lego city. And I'll be doing that shortly in the new video with the new table. Remember, you can also watch the live stream of building this from scratch. You can see the step-by-steps and how the bags come together, which you might want to do before availability comes back into stock, so you can get an idea of the experience that you'll be getting and how the set all comes together. Again, the link is in the description to those live streams, so do check them out. So I hope you found this review interesting and walkthrough of the detail helpful. If you did, hit that like button because it helps the channel grow and get more viewers, and also hit subscribe button with the bell notification turned on to be notified of future videos we do on this channel. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you then.